Marvel has been giving us subtle clues and Easter eggs about the upcoming Young Avengers, with some of the characters already being introduced in the movies and the new web series Falcon and the Winter Soldier and Wanda Vision. So when will this team officially assemble in the MCU? And who are they? Let's talk about the Young Avengers. Welcome back to Comic Power. I'm your host, Comic Killer 72. Welcome to another episode of The Quick Flip. This is the program where I go over comic book industry news in a short period of time. Please subscribe to this channel and also click on the notification bell as well. It will remind you when new videos come out. Alright, now let's get right into it. Although victorious in Endgame, the Avengers are now disassembled, especially the core founding members. Iron Man and Black Widow are dead. Captain America is an old man who's now passed on the shield. The Hulk is severely injured after the snap. Thor is out in space somewhere with the Guardians of the Galaxy. And Hawkeye, he's a guy with a bow and an arrow with no superpowers. How can he save the world? So you're going to need a new team of Avengers, and that's where the Young Avengers come in. And this poster was designed by some unknown person on the internet, and they did a great job. And I'm going to use it as a source to break down who these characters are, who's playing them in real life, etc. So let's get into that. And please note, the world of comics can be very confusing, so I'm going to give very brief breakdowns of the character origins. And let's start with the wonderful world that is Wanda Vision, where we were introduced to Wiccan, aka Billy Maximoff, and Speed, aka Tommy Maximoff, who are the children of the Scarlett Witch and the Vision. A real life woman and an AI can't conceive children, obviously, so the kids were conceived through magic. And that's exactly what happened in the comics. They made their first appearance in The Vision and the Scarlet Witch number 12 back in 1986. And because comics, a lot of weird stuff happens involving Agatha Harkness and Mephisto. But the reincarnated twins come back in the Young Avengers in the 2000s. So the reincarnated Wiccan, aka Billy Maximoff, returns in Young Avengers number 1 in 2005. In live action, this character is played by Julian Hilliard, who's only 10 years old. He was born in 2011. As for Speed, this character was reintroduced in the Young Avengers number 10 in 2006. And in live action, he's played by Jet Klein, who was born in 2014 and just 7 years old at the time I made this video in 2021. So with the Maximoff twins, they went very young. So expect to see adventures from them for a very long time in the MCU. Wiccan's power set is very similar to his mom, Wanda, and Speed's power set, you guessed it, is very similar to his uncle Quicksilver. He's very, very fast. And next up is Patriot, an African-American hero. His name is Isiah Bradley, and he made his first appearance in Young Avengers number 1 as well. And Marvel was very subtle about introducing him into the MCU, because he had a very small role in the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. He's the grandson of Isiah Bradley. He was that first black Captain America who was a test subject for the government back in the Korean War. So what's supposed to happen in continuity is Elijah is going to get a blood transfusion from his grandfather, which is going to give him superpowers, and he's going to don a version of his grandfather's old costume. This character is played by the actor Elijah Richardson. He was born in 1998, which makes him about 23 years old at the time I make this video. Expect a power set that's similar to Captain America. That brings us to Kamala Khan, and this character has really blossomed since her 2014 debut. She made 2 cameo appearances as a civilian in Captain Marvel number 14 and number 17 in 2013. She made her first appearance in comics as Miss Marvel in Marvel .1 in 2014. And then Miss Marvel number 1 in 2014, where her origin is told. It turns out the character is a Inhuman who has stretching morphing abilities similar to Mr. Fantastic. And she got her powers after coming out of the Terrigen Mist. And Marvel feels so strongly about this character, they're giving her her own live action web series. The character is also supposed to be a Pakistani American who's the daughter of immigrants from Pakistan and a practicing Muslim. The actress they have selected for her, a Pakistani Canadian whose parents are from Pakistan and immigrated to Canada. So they nailed it in terms of nationality perfectly. Her name was Aman Velani, and it's her first acting role of any kind whatsoever. She was born in 2002, which makes her 19 years old at the time I make this video. She's also already been confirmed for Captain Marvel 2, which has been renamed The Marvels. And then there's the Cassie Lang character, which was introduced in the MCU in Ant-Man number 1 in 2016. In the Young Avengers, she's going to be the character known as Stature, and she's going to have powers that's going to be similar to her father's. Yep, teenage Cassie messing around with her dad's pen particles. What are you going to do with kids? Scott Lang's daughter is going to take over the family business. In the comics, the Cassie Lang character first appeared in Marvel Premiere number 47 back in 1979, but she didn't become Stature in the Young Avengers until Young Avengers number 6 in 2005. The teen version of this character in the MCU was played by Emma Furman. This is the daughter in Endgame that he hugs, but for some reason they fired her and replaced her with Catherine Newton, who's going to be the new Cassie Lang. So this is the version you're going to see in Ant-Man 3. She was born in 1997. That makes her 24 years old. That brings us to America Chavez, also known as Miss America. This character may already be the most high-profile Latin character in the Marvel Universe. She made her first appearance in comics in Vengeance number 1 back in 2012. She has powers like flight and super strength, but she can also basically teleport by portals. She was a late addition to the Young Avengers team and eventually joined a team called the Ultimates, which included Captain Marvel, the Blue Marvel, Black Panther, Monica Rambeau, aka Spectrum, and herself. In live action, she's going to be played by an actress named Zosaida Gomez. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. She was born in 2006, and she's 15 years old at the time I make this video. And she's an American of Mexican heritage. And she's going to make her first appearance as the character in Doctor Strange 2. I don't expect a lot out of her in that movie. I think it's just going to be a setup. But young Miss Gomez has a lot to live up to because the character is very flamboyant in how she dresses. Here's a cover swipe that was influenced by Beyonce, for example. She may also be one of the most high-profile queer characters in the Marvel Universe already, too. She made her first appearance outside of comics in an animated series called Marvel Rising. Kamala Khan and Patriot also appeared in it. All hail Miss America. And then there's Ironheart. This character got very popular very quickly when she was first introduced in the Invincible Iron Man Volume 3, number 7 back in 2016. She's a 15-year-old African-American female genius who builds an Iron Man suit in her dorm room at MIT. Tony's first was a cave, her first was a dorm room. She was an immediate cosplay favorite, giving young black women something to play besides Storm. She has a live-action web series in development under the Ironheart name, and she's going to be played by an up-and-coming actress named Dominique Thorne. She was born in 1997, so she's 24 years old at the time I make this video. In the comics, Tony Stark does recognize her talent and mentors her. Who knows what they're going to do in the MCU because Tony Stark is dead. This character has gotten very popular very quickly, and I can't wait to see what they do with it in live action. I promise to you it's going to be a big hit. That brings us to Kate Bishop, the girl in purple, also known as the new Hawkeye. And she made her first appearance in, you guessed it, Young Avengers number 1 from 2005. In live action, she's going to be portrayed by who clearly is the biggest star that I'm going to mention today, Holly Steinfeld. She's already received an Oscar nomination for the movie True Grit, and she headlined movies like Bumblebee. She was born in 1996, so she's 24 years old at the time I make this video, but she's already a show business veteran and a pretty big deal in terms of name recognition. There was a big push from some of her fans that wanted her to become the next Rogue in the X-Men, but that's not going to happen. And some of the set photos have already leaked, and they look fantastic. They're very comic accurate. Take a look at these things. Man, I can't wait for this. So, Holly's going to co-headline the Hawkeye show with Jeremy Renner, who's returning to reprise his role as Clint Barton in this web series. So, the Kate Bishop character makes her first appearance in Young Avengers number 1, but doesn't become Hawkeye until issue number 12, and she gets mentored by Clint Barton in the Hawkeye series from 2012, which was a double Eisner winner for Best New and Ongoing Series. I expect for them to follow the storyline that happened in this title because it's where he teaches her the ropes. Like the original Hawkeye, this new female Hawkeye does not have superpowers, so they can do a more grounded action-adventure story, and it's going to be great. Can't wait. Let's look at some of the other prominent members of the Young Avengers that are not appearing in live action yet, including Hulkling, who is a Kree and Skrull mix. He has nothing to do with the Hulk, he's just a big green guy. They're not doing him yet in live action. And Iron Lad, who is actually Kang the Conqueror from a different timeline. They're not doing him yet either. That's too weird. And then there's the Vision, but this is a teenage version of him that doesn't have any of the prior memories. It would just confuse everybody, so they're probably not going to use him for the Young Avengers. And then there's Kid Loki, and you guessed it. It's Loki in the body of a kid. You never know about this one because the Loki web series that they're going to do is going to be so weird that they may do something this insane. And the million-dollar question is, will they whip out the big gun and put him on the team? And that's going to be Miles Morales. And this one's complicated because the Spider-Man universe characters are still owned by Sony in live action. So it would take a special deal to bring him into the MCU, like they did with Peter Parker. In addition, he's a solo standalone star already in his own movie franchise. So he doesn't need the Young Avengers for exposure. He's already bigger than all of them. So I don't expect for him to be in the Young Avengers at all. So based on what Marvel has set up, I expect for the core team to be Wiccan, Speed, Patriot, Miss Marvel, Stature, Miss America, Ironheart, and Kate Bishop Hawkeye. Some purists are going to look at this and say characters like Ms. Marvel were never Young Avengers, they were champions. And that's because the Young Avengers started in 2005. But Kamala Khan, Ms. Marvel, wasn't created until 2014. So she was one of the young heroes that was invited into the main Avengers, and then they did a splinter group called the Champions later. That's too much advanced continuity, so they're probably not going to do that. And unlike the founding Avengers team, this team is going to be extremely diverse. So let's compare them. The first Avengers team, all 6 of them were white. There was only one woman, and all the characters were straight. That's not very diverse. In the Young Avengers, 5 of the 8 members are some type of ethnic minority, 5 of the 8 members are female, and 3 of the 8 members are LGBT characters. Let me elaborate on the Kate Bishop character. They've always been ambiguous about what her ethnic background is in the comics. They never said if she was Latin or Native American or what she was. But in live action, she's played by Holly Stanfield. And Holly is of African American, Filipino, and white heritage. So she's technically 1/8 black. So she could claim African American if she wanted to. So I'm counting Kate Bishop as a person of color character. I talk about this stuff because representation is important. If you're going to have an American superhero team in the 21st century, it should look like what America looks like in the 21st century. Congratulations to all these young actors and actresses and what will be their breakout roles, with the exception of Holly Stanfield. And I can't wait for Marvel to officially announce the Young Avengers in the future. And tell me, what characters are you most excited about seeing in live action? What characters don't you see here that you think should be on the team? Should it be a movie franchise or an ongoing web series? Who should be the big bad and the villain in this? Be sure to speak up in the comment section. You know the drill. Be sure to subscribe to this channel, give it a thumbs up, and share these videos on social media so other people learn about the channel. And don't forget, I do sell comics at my eBay page listed here with a link in the description. One Stop Thrift and Comic Power are run by the same guy. That would be me, Comic Killer 72. I have 100% feedback, by the way. And once again, thank you to my subscribers and viewers who support Comic Power. Until next time, this is Comic Killer 72 for Comic Power saying bye-bye.